monologues, what I call shared monologues when we told our narrative, or your small group dialogue, or the whole group dialogue. What do you actually see people doing at the table that's useful? What are people actually doing that's helping you understand, that's pushing the dialogue forward, that's building something about you? What are people actually doing?
Sometimes they ask questions about what they said. Inquiry. Or clarify a point.
I think it's very important to see your body language, because that's it provides you information regarding
Your semantic.
Can you be specific about the body language? In other words, what would you like to see continue that you think is helpful for our process of understanding each other or the text?
Well, in both there are
People are noticing these guys.
different.
Different, yeah.
But even when you show signs of contempt, is the word? Contempt, no. ¿No? A veces sometimes you have expressions that suggest that what you said sounds like it didn't make a click in the other person, or it makes the other person feel weird about it, or doesn't like the idea. There's some rejection of the idea. Huh?
Some reactions.
Reaction, but it can be positive or negative. You know, either the person smiles.
Let's focus on the positive. What kind of body language is going to be helpful? You demonstrated body language for us that wasn't helpful, which indicated that somehow your posture to the event is important.
Looking at us.
Right.
So,
Body language, looking at us or
Poker face.
going for coffee, for example.
Eye
It's very
contact.
bad, it's very bad.
did you say eye contact?
Eye contact, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell. But I'm going to tell you something. Carlos, at a moment, was with the,
Holding the
yeah,
Frowning.
ceño fruncido.
Uh-huh.
And it looked like he was really thinking about what we were saying. And I think it was very positive. To find someone that was trying to understand what you were saying. Yeah. So ceño fruncido looking at you.
Yeah,
So one thing that might be helpful is for us to be aware of facial expressions, because they're also communicating.
Yeah.
Communicating as well. And if we don't understand someone's facial expression, what should we do?
Right?
We can just ask them directly, right? Are you confused, or are you unhappy, or, because we might not interpret the facial expression.
I interpret it positively.
So you can communicate verbally or communicate physically.
I think physical expression is important.
Eraser.
Here. Kurt?
It's right there by the Denise.
Oh, sorry, I had it. Sorry.
When I was, when we were talking about disentangle, I was also thinking about the visual part of disentangle, because sometimes we're like this, like tangled. And it's like a part of that response of your body language that you have to open up to new ideas.
Just one at a time. That's one thing people are doing that's really pushing us along.
And speak to everybody.
Stick to the topic, unless it's useful to change the subject.
And to build over someone's ideas.
I know some of you have done this before, so it's
No,
nice.
I'm just laughing because we realize when someone in our group starts saying, I'm going to build on his idea, he changes the subject.
Right. Well, it's an art, right?
Being engaged,
What does that mean?
that means that I'm interested, I am trying to understand what other people are saying, trying to participate in a way that I am trying to contribute with the things that we are discussing. compromise, engage, maybe passionate about the activity.
Well, what if you're not passionate? What if you're not interested? You can't just say, be interested now.
No, no,
Be passionate now.
no, if you act like that, you will be engaged with the.
But what if you're not?
No, we can even ignore you, or we can even confront you and ask you what's happening, what we can do to motivate you, to attract you, to.
Okay, so what I hear you saying now is that if you see someone that seems disengaged or disinterested, maybe there's something we can do to bring them into the conversation or to revive their interest. That's an interesting question. What can you do if you notice that people are at the table disengaged, uninterested, they look like they're doing other work? Right? What can you actually do?
Maybe invite him to give some kind of opinion,
Ask them what they think.
what they're thinking right now, or.
This is really important skill for students to learn, because you always have students for whom it is easy to contribute in a large group discussion. They often end up dominating because it's their natural talent.
We're talking the other
But
day.
they also have this responsibility to not just voice their own views, but to be attentive to others who might be disengaged or less confident, and make that easier, build that bridge, get empathy. When students start talking about this, you know you're on the right track. They start having empathy and interest in others, and not just in their own learning.
Bert, is that part of our culture, or is it something that develops within a group? That we're kind of, at least in Guatemala, we're afraid to tell someone something they're doing wrong or something we don't like, or criticism. I don't know if it's part of more of Guatemalan culture, or it's something you see everywhere.
It's about the.
Hmm? No, I'm questioning.
I heard 2 days ago reflection, and Michael Strong in the TED said that Guatemala has one of the highest authority spreaders. And our history has been
Our business.
of our distance.
About what?
Our history of the history of Guatemala specifically has been very strong in power distance.
I don't know what you're saying, power distance?
Power distance. There is a measurement of power
Our
distance.
distance.
Ah,
Mission
How
to
far you will feel from
authority.
authority superior to it.
Guatemala is the second one.
So it's a kind of subservience,
Yes.
subservience and acquiescence.
And it's very strong from before the Spanish came here. And all the Guatemalan history has been like that. And I think it's very,
So there might be some unique challenges that are particularly difficult to get over, but you've got a microcosm of culture here that can be evolved. And it's going to evolve more quickly the more vocal we are, the more direct we are, the more transparent we are, the more authentic we are. All of which we can probably put on this list.
Bert, when
can
you
you
are-
read the question for that? Because, sorry, I had the question here at the beginning, but now I'm kind of confused, but we are listening.
What are some of the behaviors you actually see around the table that you think are helping us? Either define the meaning better of either the text or of each other.
One is patience, I think.
What?
Patience. I think
Patience.
It's very
How do you
important.
see patients? How do you observe patients?
You allow people to think. You,
How do you observe
you wait
people?
respectfully, you know, you're,
Not to raise any
No.
hand.
yeah.
I was amazed
You
that
don't
we
feel
were raising our hands, and the only one that was raising her hand was Florencia, because
my
she hadn't
first-
been in the group.
Because
for-
she's Argentinian.
Fernando was also raising his hand quite a bit at the
Oh yeah, Fernando was raising his hand. But most of us,
I will
I
like to
used-
add
So
that.
that's a good example of how there was a cultural shift.
Mhm.
We came in with a certain rule set, and then people noticed, well, there's a rule that's not being observed. And then little by little,
Yeah.
people stopped raising hands.
There's
And we
very-
also,
Sorry. Just very little knowledge interruption here. We have used it a couple of times to find words.
Sure.
Maybe Fernando's computer is the only exception, but in general, we have been restrain from using all.
The focus has been on each other, with good eye contact, who's speaking at the time.
Speaking of technology,
And almost no one's cell phone has gone off.
Yeah. Right.
Mine early on.
I have a question. Let's say that for most of us has been almost a year of working with us,
Sure.
so we maybe feel confident even to talk in English
Sure.
than if we were with another group. How can we measure that type of thing in our groups? Since most of them interrelate for 3 or 4 sessions and they change and maybe I can be with Tono and some of them and that will be comfortable with me, but maybe not with the other ones. How can we make a better integration?
Well,
So,
the design of your classes that you're teaching might not allow for cultural evolution, any kind of meaningful cultural evolution. In which case, you're going to have to decide, given that environment, what kind of teaching is most effective. It could be you've set up the class to be a place to receive information efficiently. So that's what should happen in that environment. The environment's been prepared to receive information. If you want something else to happen in that environment, if you want real personal transformation, or you want people to start to collaborate in complex ways that requires the evolution of a culture, you'll have to change the format and the environment so that that can happen. There's no claim being made that you can have Socratic practice in any environment under any conditions. Quite the opposite. The environment has to be prepared. And if you don't have the environment for Socratic dialogue, it won't work. And you'll have to think about what will work in that particular environment. I mean, if you have an auditorium with 700 seats in it, in a small stage, there are only certain kinds of things that are going to be appropriate to do in that environment. If you want to do something else, you need to move out of that environment to another, to one that's appropriate for what you want to do. Otherwise, you're going to have a show with an audience, which may be appropriate. That's the appropriate thing to happen in that environment.
And I was going to say about this, that realizing that you're part of the cast and not being an audience.
Well, what I'm trying to model here is that you can engage the cast on a metacognitive reflection about what they're actually doing. And some students have never really thought about what they're doing in the classroom.
Mhm.
You know, what their actions are, what the actions of others are. And it's a reflection on behavior. When you have a deep and meaningful reflection on behavior, you can then decide on conduct. Conduct is really a self-conscious decision to behave in a certain way. We might look at the behaviors that we are naturally doing now, based on the culture that we're already practicing, and then look at it critically. What elements do we want to change that will help us achieve our goals? So this is about making some of that those tacit rules explicit, and it can be continually evolve. And maybe the students will contribute things that you don't agree with. They'll put up rules or things that we should do that you don't agree with. That's fine, let them do that. Because they're going to find over the next couple of conversations that you don't get the spontaneity that you'd like to have, or the energy you'd like to have when someone's in charge of calling on hands. So they'll abandon that.
Or even speak one at a time. Even speak one at a time. When we did groups of 4 or groups of 2, we had a lot of people speaking at a time.
True. Although if you've really experienced a group of 4 speaking one at a time, really respectfully, and you have that contrast, you'll realize you'll be much more productive,
Yeah.
and it's much more respectful if you do that. But let them.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's time.
4?
3:30.
Oh, I thought we were going to 4:30.
But I know Homer has to leave. But if somebody wants, we usually stay longer, but we allow the people to be on time. So, just one favor, Saturday. According to our schedule, it started at 9. And the reason was that we were planning to go to Antigua. If you all agree to start earlier, we finish earlier. Would you like to do that? Since it's going to be here at the university.
6:30 would be okay for me.
I'm sorry, Bert. Does everybody agree? 7 would be okay for you and then end up at 2:30? Or would you rather start at 7:30 and end up at 3? Díganmelo por qué.
Ah, no, 7 de la mañana sábado, sí, está
No,
bien.
¿a qué hora crees?
You should all go downtown for the 6 o'clock turning on of the lights.
8, okay.
6
8 Saturday.
Ah, ya.
Okay, y la otra noticia es, tomorrow we're visiting Acton Academy for the clausura, okay? We're leaving here around 2:45. Now, you don't have to stay until 6 like Bert said, okay? We can go and watch and talk and try to find out Tono's son and Helmut's kids, what are they doing, no curriculum, no classes, no grades, and try to live a little bit and then we can just go home, okay?
And where is this at?
Aquí está la dirección, dice hermosa. It's very close by.
Vamos a ir mañana en tarde a una clausura y a la comunicación.
¿Sí?
Perdón, es que no pude pensar.
Es que vamos a ir a Acton Academy. ¿Dónde conocer?
Sí, sí.
Entonces, aprovechando que la clausura, we're going to have an experiential learning. Instead of talking about it, we're going to go and live what they're doing.
No,
Bueno,
tiene que ver.
No, ¿verdad?
Ah, ok.
For
Ya, ya
tomorrow,
me encontramos.
if we could,
A las 6. Estaría aquí de vuelta.
we've just read the first 3 paragraphs of Kant's What is Enlightening. You don't have to read any more of that. You may if you wish, but we're only going to talk about the first 3 paragraphs. And we're going to compare those 3 paragraphs to this article by Mark Twain. It's a short story and commentary. You will really enjoy it. It's very short, so that's your only homework for tomorrow, is to read Mark Twain and think, ask yourself, do Twain and Kant agree? Do they agree or do they disagree? Do Kant and Twain agree or do they disagree? And that will be the question that we begin tomorrow's session with.
I have a question. If we don't understand what cornpone means at the end of the story,
That might be one of your questions when you come in.
so we don't look it up.
You will steal the experience of learning from yourself
Okay.
if you look it up.
Okay.
I think there are gains from
Okay, so
from trying to engage the process. Okay. If you're a careful reader, you'll know what cornpone is by the end.
We can stay. Carlos always stays for an hour at least.
No, I apologize. I think it's a good place to end. It's perfect.
Yeah, I'm
But
sorry.
for some reason, my schedule said 4:30,
No.
and no, I mean the one on my email.
¿Quieres cómo algo de
Yeah.
And all my seminars. Yeah, all my seminars are at that whole. I just.
We can stay. I enjoy a lot. Bert, can we have your quotes, some of them?
Sure, yeah, I'll just.
Because I realized a lot of people were copying
Oh,
that.
absolutely.
And I think that we're, and I already sent the third,
sí,
the present, okay?
Así que mañana es 8:30. 8:30 aquí también.
Sí. Y entonces lo que podemos hacer es, Carlos, ¿vas a hacer clase mañana?
Tengo, solamente pongo a mis alumnos pero
La pregunta es muy sencilla.
doy tutoría los viernes, pero
La pregunta es mañana, ¿qué horas vas a regresar a la U? ¿O no vas a regresar? Porque vamos a
bueno,
ir a-
sería regresar tipo 5, digamos.
Ah, no. Entonces, ¿te puedes regalar una referencia? ¿No?
Yo me los traigo.
Referencia.
¿Tú quieres que lo haga a la U o a
¿No?
tu? O a
No, sí, aquí porque también voy a encontrarme con
I'll be doing that tomorrow.
Oh, Helmut was telling me. Carlos, referencia solo si no puede, yo puedo traerte, pero es solo para que vean.
No, yo traigo, no tengas pena.
Él tiene miedo, Carlos, no tengas pena.
Una referencia que mira ser registrada. No, ustedes mañana ahora.
Interrupt and say goodbye, dude.
Sorry?
Interrupt and say goodbye.
I'm waiting because I want to tell you something.
Oh, you want to tell me something? I misinterpreted you.
Helmut was telling me yesterday that a moment I had in the Liberty Fund of Hayek, when I realized that the scientific knowledge was also dispersed, he said that was Michael Polanyi's contribution. That was Helmut told me yesterday. And he said, Michael Polanyi's studies are a lot on the dispersed scientific knowledge.
That's where Hank gets it.
Yeah, Helmut was telling me that yesterday.
Polanyi is the epistemological foundation of Hayek.
Okay.
He coined the term spontaneous order and the concept of test.
Great, that'd be great. There's a lot of scientists here, if you realize it.
So,
Thanks a lot.
right, I think we'll probably have.
You want me to get copies?
I'm gonna have this report about this. Not gonna read the whole thing.
Thank you.